Hi, I'm Taliya.
Hi, I'm Matthew, and we are the Critics.
Okay, so the film we are reviewing this week is called Solace, and it stars Anthony Hopkins, Colin Farrell, Abby Cornish, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So here you're going to see us disagree quite a bit about the film. For the first time.
Yeah.
I feel proud, but it's sad also. It's like a breaking of allegiance. But anyway.
But you're wrong, so it's fine.
Your opinion is cool, but wrong. Okay, so let me jump right into it. There were various reasons why I didn't like this film. Definitely the cast wasn't one of them. They had they had cast such amazing actors here. It was definitely an ensemble. But I'll get more into detail about that a bit later. So I felt like I was watching a really bad episode of Criminal Minds. I don't know if any one of you is a fan of Criminal Minds. If you are, comment, let us know what you think. He is not. But I love these serial killer type of stories, although I'm not one. Matt, just verify that. The way they do it in that show is very realistic, real time. This I felt was requiring me to suspend my disbelief a bit too much with the psychic concept. I mean, that's a good concept and it might be valid. I still need to research, I don't know. But just with Sir Anthony's character now having to hear Colin's character in his head and saying, concentrate, come and find me, I know your next step because I'm a psychic.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with this movie that I don't like. And so I'll concede with that. Like, that at the end was weird. Especially because they're trying to build Colin's trying to build Anthony up to be his replacement, almost, is what we kind of get near the end. And so for him to not be at a similar level of psychic ability, I think is problematic. So,
also, exactly. They tried to set us up in a realistic context of murders going down in a city. I still don't know which city it is. For me, that's important, especially in a crime.
I don't think it's important.
In a crime film, okay. But they tried to put it in a realistic context, but it was still a bit of a far-fetched situation for me. But yeah, that was my main criticism of it. Otherwise, Abby Cornish, that acting. I told Matt while we were watching the film, she reminded me of an android. The way she just delivered the lines. But, #body goals.
Yeah.
She had an amazing body. I mean, let's acknowledge that and move on, because her acting was terrible. I don't know.
And Anthony did a really solid job of carrying the film.
But you expect him. You expect him to. The rest of the
And Colin was really good, except for some momentary, clearly forced on him, like, stand like this and pretend you are
scary. Be scary. Wear black boots and be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was only in the movie for like 10 minutes, it felt.
Although we kept seeing images of him throughout the film.
Yeah.
Subtle images. Overall, I felt like it was just trying too hard to fit in with other films of this genre that have been great, like Silence of the Lambs. Besides, obviously, Anthony being in that film, you can't help but compare it because it's a serial killer based film.
Yeah.
And also Seven, I thought of that film immediately, about a serial killer where the killer is the main character besides Brad Pitt's character. But yeah, I just thought it tried too hard to fit into that genre. But I think, Matt, you were correct of your assessment when we discussed it. Maybe I was expecting a cop crime thriller type of film, but I didn't get that.
I think if you go in expecting that, I think everything I read about it going in made me think it was going to be that. You are going to be disappointed. Definitely. 100%. It's not that at all. It uses crimes and murders to tell a bigger story and to get a bigger message across, and that message is very clearly one of mercy killings and euthanasia. And it's very difficult to get a message like that across in a movie in a particular format. I don't think it does it exceptionally well, but early in I realized that this wasn't about that. It was too confusing. We never really got told what the movie was about, which was problematic. You know, there were shots back and forth. And so very early on, it was clearly one of those movies that's going to confuse you the whole way through.
Yeah.
And those are fine, and that's what I said to myself while I was watching it. This is going to be fine if it all ties together at the end.
I think they did.
And yeah, and I think they tied it. I think they tied it all together well at the end. I think the penultimate shot is amazing. I mean,
where all of his visions come together.
No, where he with his daughter.
Oh,
yes,
the scene with the daughter. Yeah,
yeah.
That
I think that, because you do. I mean, you sit through the movie and you are. I mean, I'm not sure where I stand on euthanasia particularly, but you are very. You know, it makes a very strong argument for allowing it, but at the same time gives you the doubt. You know, is life precious in its last moments, or is suffering too great a thing, and should people be able to take it away, and should people who aren't in control of their life, of that decision, be allowed to make that decision.
That's a good point. They brought it home, especially with the child that he killed, where they found, the brain tumor that would have developed. That definitely drove home the theme.
Yeah. So it didn't advertise, I think, well what it was going to be. I think it was very confusing. It tied it together. I think that there were a lot of unnecessary shots, but having said that, I think it was an incredibly well shot movie. I think the camera work was amazing.
Yeah.
I think the music was really good. It disturbed you a lot. It also had moments where it fitted the mood really well. You mentioned it, I think Anthony's amazing in this movie.
And he produced as well.
It's clearly something that means a lot to him.
He had
reading
something,
between the lines. Yeah.
He definitely had an oversight over all of those aspects, and I mean, he's a pro.
Yeah. For me, it's more in the line of something like, which I watched recently, Mr. Nobody. Like, complete confusion. This is more confusing than Mr. Nobody, and I think that's problematic. But ultimately it gets you to where you want to go, and it requires an immense amount of concentration. If you are either depressed or not willing to give the time to concentrate the whole way through this movie, you aren't going to get the payoff, and I think you're going to be immensely disappointed. And I think you're right, there's a lot of corniness that detracts from it. Yeah, it was there were definitely moments of solid cheese.
I think I expected a killer-based story where
and the movie wasn't about that.
Are the main point, but it definitely wasn't.
It wasn't about that. It was about the motives behind it, and it's a difficult movie to pull off.
Definitely.
Because it isn't about characters. It isn't strong, real character development. But I think that's also clever. I mean, the only thing that we really learned about Anthony is that he had a daughter who died of cancer.
But they also used the psychic abilities to give us character backgrounds very quickly, which I didn't like, but it was a useful tool.
I also didn't like it, but I don't think the movie's about characters. I think, but going back to what I was saying, I think they kept on harping about Anthony's daughter, and he's getting annoyed by it, but then that penultimate scene makes you realise how important it was that part of him get pushed
why it actually defined his life moving forward from there.
So I think the beginnings of a really good movie, but definitely not as advertised, not what I expected, and I understand people who don't like it, but I liked it. Cool.
Okay.
Are we going to go to thumbs?
Let's do it.
Okay, so how do we ultimately agree on this?
Because I was going to give half, but I'm giving the other half for Anthony and Abby Cornish's figure.
Okay, I liked it. I don't know if I'll watch it again. I'll definitely get it on DVD rather than watching it in the cinema. And so that's why I can't go above one. But thank you very much for watching. If you've liked this video, please click like or subscribe to our channel to see more. I'll link to our Facebook and Twitter accounts where we give you a whole lot more information about what we're going to be doing is in the description below. And I'm Matthew.
I'm Taliya.
And this has been the Critics' Review of Solace.